Teaching your toddler to read is one of the most amazing experiences you will ever have in your life. Take it from me, when I taught my son to read at 2 years old, it was one of the most incredible moments in my parenting journey, and now I get to help millions of parents all over the world have those same moments of joy and connection with their child. Now, unfortunately, many people think about toddlers reading and they think it's going to be hard or they think it's going to be inappropriate. They say, let's just wait until they get to school, cross our fingers, and hope it all works out. But far too often, it doesn't, and many kids are left struggling, hating reading when we could have done something sooner to help them. In this video, I'm going to show you not just how easy it is to teach toddlers to read, but I'm going to teach you step by step how to get your little one reading in less than 5 minutes a day by focusing on the simplest and easiest activities for them. This doesn't have to be something that you cross your fingers and you hope they get down the line. This is something where you're going to feel empowered, engaged, and supported in teaching your toddler to read today. So first, let's start with the basics. What does it mean to read? Well, reading is a very, very simple process that only requires 2 skills. First, we need to know the sounds the letters make. So for example, if you had a word like this, your child would need to know that this says this is and this is p. Then they need to be able to stretch those sounds together. We call this blending to read the word. Map, map, map. If your child can do those 2 things, they can read. And yes, kids can read as toddlers. So this means if you want to get your toddler reading at 2, at 3, at 4 years old, you need to teach your child the sounds the letters make. This is 90% of the battle. If you can teach them that this is this is this is p, you can get them reading words like map very, very quickly. Then once you teach them, this says t. Now they can read tap. Now they can read zap. Teaching your child the letter sounds is the #1 biggest key to getting your toddler reading, and this is one of the easiest skills you'll ever teach them. Here's the first thing you need to do. Now, I mentioned that a lot of people think teaching toddlers to read is hard, and that's because they're doing too much. You're trying to teach your kid 26 sounds. This is what 26 looks like, all at the same time, and it's completely overwhelming for your child. This is too much to learn. If I didn't know what sounds these were and you tried teaching me all of this today, I'd be checked out immediately. You're gonna get frustrated because I'm not paying attention, and I'm gonna get frustrated because I'm not learning. You're gonna assume this is too hard to do, and you're gonna give up and quit and say I'm too young. We need to teach our kids 3 sounds at a time. Let's make this easy for ourselves. So instead of trying to teach our kids all 26 sounds, let's pick 3. Let's teach these 3, have our kid master them, and then move on. What's gonna happen is all of a sudden, your kid enters practice confident because they know you're not gonna overwhelm them. You enter practice confident because you know they're gonna learn these 3 sounds, and step by step, bit by bit, this pile of 26 starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller until your child has mastered all 26 sounds. The key is we do this bite by bite, step by step, starting with just 3 letter sounds at a time, so both us and our little ones can feel confident and successful in our learning. Now that you know to only teach your child 3 letter sounds at a time, it's important to choose those 3 sounds wisely, meaning some of these sounds are gonna be easier for your little one to learn, some are going to be harder, and it's your job to help your child feel successful by putting the easiest sounds in front of them first so they can be learning as quickly as possible. Now, 3 sounds that I love to start with are s, ah, and t. I love these sounds because these are 3 sounds that are pretty easy for kids to pronounce, meaning most kids can say these sounds. If your kid can't, simply move that sound off, put another one in its place. These 3 sounds are also in many, many words. So if our goal is to get our kid reading and they need to know the letter sounds, then picking sounds that are really, really popular is gonna help them read more and more words quickly. I also love these letters because these are letters that are said in a lot of common words for kids. It's stuff they're using in their day-to-day life. They're saying snake. So I know my kid can say and they can learn this sound. For you and for your child, this may be different. It might be that in mommy. It might be that d in daddy. You want to think about what sounds your kid can pronounce, what words you hear them saying, and put those sounds in front of your kid first. And remember, there's 26 letter sounds here to choose from. So if your kid struggles with one, simply move it to the back, move on to the next sound. You don't have to teach everything day one, but picking 3 letter sounds you think are gonna be easiest is the best way to get your little one reading fast. Now, you may remember when you were learning how to read, it was sitting down and trying to go through every one of the sounds, just kind of force it into your brain until you remember it. That's not what we're gonna do here. These are little kids we're working with, so we wanna make this fun and engaging. And our job as parents here is to think about what sorts of games and activities our kids naturally like and to build that into a letter sound game. Every kid's different, but I can give you some examples of how I'm gonna take what I know about a kid to make sure that learning their phonics sounds is fun. So if I know a kid is active, maybe they like to run around and they're always on the move, I might take these 3 letter sounds that I'm trying to teach them, and I might place them in different places around the house and have them run to the sound and say the sound when they get there. I wanna get them moving and engaged. If my kid likes jumping, if they're like a 3-year-old and they're at that point where it's kind of safe to get them off the surface, I can put them up on this couch, put the sounds on the ground, and I can say, okay, jump on the sound that says ah. And they're gonna be looking at the 3 sounds, trying to figure it out, and they're gonna jump down and say ah. If I've got a kid that maybe isn't as active, but they just like to sit down and they like to be with me, I might bring some stuffed animals and some toys over, and I might have the kid teach the toy. I might have the kid teach me and have me pretend like I don't know it at all and put them in the driver's seat, right? The key here is you can take any game, you can turn it into a letter sound activity. Simply add one little step where they've got to tell you that letter sound before the game continues. Then all of a sudden, they're not just learning their letter sounds, but they're having fun. Remember, when we teach this, it's 3 sounds. It's 3 sounds that they should be able to learn relatively quickly, and it's worked into a game or an activity that our kid likes, so this whole learning time is fun and productive. Now, if you implement these 3 steps, you are going to get your toddler reading quickly. But if you want to really take this to the next level, I've got 2 bonus tips for you here to help this be not just a fun experience for your child, but to be an enjoyable experience for you. I want this to be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And to do that, you've got to build this into a routine that's consistent from day to day. Pick the same time, the same place every single day so you know what to expect and your little one does too. The worst thing that you can do is decide to teach your child to read, but then just kind of do it willy-nilly in the moment, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening, sometimes before lunch, sometimes after lunch. It's always gonna catch your kid off guard, and you're gonna feel like it's always this task that you've gotta do, or you've gotta fit in, or you've gotta make room for. If you can take just a split second right now to think about it in advance, think about what's the best time for you? What's the best time for your kid? When are they focused? When are they engaged? When are they locked in? When are you calm and confident and ready to go? If you can pick that same time and that same place every single day to do these 3 steps, this is gonna feel not just like another thing you've gotta do during the day, this is gonna be a time every single day that both you and your child look forward to. And just one more bonus tip for you here, because I wanna make sure that you're getting as much value from this video as possible. I want you to focus on just one thing every day to do better. See, what happens is most people, when they teach, they struggle. Day 1 doesn't quite go as well as they planned, and then they give up or they get frustrated, they beat themselves up, and day 2 never gets better. That's never gonna work if you wanna teach your kid to read. You've gotta be patient with yourself. What you do is you pick one thing to get better at tomorrow. Maybe you say, tomorrow, I'm gonna pick a game that's more fun. Tomorrow, I'm gonna stick to the routine. Tomorrow, I'm gonna celebrate their effort after they finish with a dance party. That's gonna make it better. And if you can pick one thing to do better for every single tomorrow, you are gonna become an amazing teacher, even if you have no background, no confidence, no experience. Get started with these 3 basic steps, build this into an awesome routine for your little one, and pick just one thing to do better every single day. And I promise this is gonna be one of those amazing experiences of your life. Now, I know many kids struggle to read, and I know many adults struggle to teach. But I hope in this video I've shown you just how easy it can be to teach any child to read, no matter how young they are, and why this doesn't need to be something that adds any stress to your day. You don't need to spend another day wondering if your kid's gonna be an amazing reader. You can take care of it now. Teaching your toddler to read is transformational. It is incredible. And I'd encourage you to jump in and get started today. Because as always, you can do this, your toddler can do this too, and I'll be here to support you every step of the way.